Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Mantastic, and today Moby Descended is here for only the remainder of the day, so hopefully you see this video and start playing it fast because you want to get 10 phoenixes in order to get yourself a Leilan Pheasant. Obviously getting 20 means you can get the weapon assist, but at the bare minimum you should get one, especially if you play Shanna teams, because Leilan Pheasant is one of the best, if not the best, cleric option you have because it also augments your healing potential. Now, at this point in time, we have kind of transitioned to a stage where we have to play lots of low-level or older dungeons many times to get a drop repeatedly. This is a good example. We want phoenixes, but phoenix is not a guaranteed drop either, so we're going to utilize Varroa, because Varroa gives you egg drop rate increasing when you enter a dungeon in solo mode, so you have to do this in solo mode. But you are able to basically guarantee yourself a drop every single time now with a Varroa as a leader. But in addition to that, because you want to play this dungeon multiple times and you want to go quickly, so to speak, we are going to be utilizing buttons or active skills that deal instantaneous damage. And for example, Rajang's weapon assist is an example of a bigger button. It goes 5,000 times attack. So this little Varroa here ends up dealing a significant amount of damage. Other things you could potentially utilize are Brachydios, which does have a slower animation time. You could use Raytheon's weapon assist, which is a smaller multiplier. You can also just use Blue Sena. Blue Sena brings 6 skill boosts, and you can have 2 more with a weapon assist. So you can have 8 skill boosts with with your weapon assist to ensure all your buttons come up. It's another instantaneous button. The idea is the less animation you have, the faster your runs are. Now, you're only playing this 10 times, so saving a couple seconds here and there doesn't translate into stupendous amounts of time. But if you're going to be playing stuff over and over again, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. So active skills that deal instantaneous direct damage are more efficient compared to swiping a board. Now, because this dungeon is 7 floors long, along with multiple annoying mechanics, you probably need to try and find 2 in 1 style active skills potentially. So this Beach Goemon is possibly something you have that does some button damage, but it also makes a full board of fire orbs. So these types of active skills are kind of 2 in 1. The best example is Jammerus, which people may or may not have, but he is another active skill that gives an instantaneous massive 8,000 times button along with a full board of red orbs. So that can solve potentially 2 floors. You button a floor to kill it, and then you swipe a following floor to, well, actually swipe things. And for Moby Descended, I need to have combo orbs from Cammy and her leader skill, and then I brought Jonathan along because my name is Jonathan, and he also has 2 combo orbs while being red. You need to be the matching color to actually trigger combo orbs. And the idea is I can overcome this higher combo count shield of 8 or more. You need to match 8 or more combos to deal damage with combo orbs and leader skill that adds a bit of multiplier. So remember, we need that Varroa in order to actually get the drop rate. So what does this look like for this dungeon? Well, I'm going to button most of the floors and swipe 2 of them. So we use the Rajang weapon. Again, other big buttons exist. This account doesn't have too many options. So like I said, like Raytheon on a card with a high enough attack stat could work maybe. Brachydios could work. Rajang. There are a bunch of other large buttons, so to speak. So a bit slower in the sense because you get animation. And then Sena does flat 15 million. Great, no animation, hits everything, fast. On this floor here, yes, Dank Dirty, yeah, you can use Varroa Kitty. Like, as long as you have the multiplier that gives bonus drop rate. On a high enough attack stat card, I can button through the lits and make myself a nice board. I have a Beach Goemon, no Jammerus, but the idea is I'm trying to find actives that say, like, kind of double up. So, because this floor has resolve, it's pretty obnoxious. There are multiple ways you could potentially... You have to use multiple buttons to kill these things. So, I am just going to swipe instead because the dungeon is 7 floors long, and it's just a little annoying to try and squeeze in too many buttons. If the dungeon was, say, like 5 floors long, I could definitely do double button. It's faster compared to swiping. So on this floor here, I'm going to use the Little Misaka because I can't get the big one. But Little Misaka is an interesting card. If there's no bind or awoken bind, it's an instantaneous no animation effect. And now that I've voided their damage absorption, I can use that sweet Jammerus active, which instantaneously does large amounts of damage. And then because of the previous combo orbs and and the leader skill, and the bonus combos. I actually hit 9 combos on Moby Dick here. So the run doesn't take too long. Obviously, I'm narrating, so it's much slower. But it doesn't take too long. Yes, you do swipe 2 floors. The extra combos are annoying for sure, but it's kind of an annoying dungeon. And I feel like this is kind of something you can possibly put together. A lot of this can be mixed and matched. Find active skills that deal large amounts of damage, or flat damage like Sena, for instance. Like I mentioned before, if you go to your section here, you can potentially find with the keyword inflict. So other weapon assists that I find are nice are Raytheon's weapon assist, because it does instantaneous 500 times damage. Not as big as other buttons, but it may be enough for certain floors. Gung Ho Typhon does do instantaneous damage while giving haste. Some tactics will rely on the haste in order to give yourself active skills recycling. I know Light Miru is a big fan of using things such as, like, say, Bean. Where's the Bean? Here's the Bean. Because if you have those resolve spawns, you do a gigantic button to bring them down to 1 health, and then you do the Bean afterwards. Think about it this way. With that haste from Typhon's weapon assist, this Bean will actually come back up in time. Drawback is no skill boost, so you may have to like work around and compensate yourself accordingly. But that is a potential workaround there. So we keep looking at inflicts, other notable stuff. Kenshin's weapon assist doesn't do enough. It only does 200 times, but it does give you the attribute absorption and damage absorption cancellation, which may or may not be relevant to what you're playing. It's possibly a bunch of options here, like this raw necklace does flat damage to all enemies. So certain floors that have lower health, it could be nice. Brachydios, like I mentioned, is a nice option with 1500 times. The X-Wing Starfighter, it does give 2 skill boosts with their weapon assist, and it does fixed damage to all enemies. Again, lower health spawns can be buttoned away through it. This card here from Gung Ho Collab, I believe, does 1 million to light damage on fire attributes, so not so helpful. Like, you have to kind of dig through your monster box to find what types of weapon assists might help you potentially do stuff. So, like I said, Raytheon is nice. Some of the Samurai 3 stuff does little bits of damage, but it may not be enough. But point of the matter is, utilizing certain active skills to do direct damage can save yourself time. And again, you can kind of mix and match, but the key is try and utilize cards with higher attack stats if possible. Like this Spider Lady here has a large attack stat, along with 4 skill boosts, which again could be what you need to actually get yourself up and going. Again, every team will look a little different, but point of the matter is swiping, buttoning is a faster way to play through things. Using the Varroa will ensure you get that Phoenix to drop. Now, that being said, why is Leilan Pheasant desirable? Well, I haven't got it yet on this account. Whoops. See, this is why I need to button stuff. But it's going to be one of your best clerics for your Shayna teams because it has all the healing potential you'll ever need. It does large personal damage with the levitation in Super Gravity Dungeons. It has a 10 combo Super Awakening. It makes a really cool squawk when you use the active skill, and it's a cleric. So get yourself this Pheasant. You have X number of hours left to do so. Now, that being said, hopefully all you lovely ladies and gentlemen have a truly fantastic day out there in the YouTube world. I wish you the best luck in your own pet adventures, and happy puzzling.